everybody, it's Friday Sews. My name's Carol and this is Sew Carol. Friday Sews was created by Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room. The hashtag Friday Sews is used by so many of the sewing community from across the world. We all rabbit on about what we've made and what we're going to make, what our hopes are, and also a tiny bit about life. Now, what did I make last week? Well, I have to report that I made the barbecue cover. I am thrilled with it. I didn't model it for you. I have no idea whether it will fit or not because I live in Dorset, my son lives in Kent, so we shall see. But what I had to do was I had the dimensions. So the only way I could think of trying to work out how to piece the sides and things like that was to build a similar structure. So I just used two outside chairs, some bits of cardboard stuck here and there to kind of create the surface. And I kind of made it around that. So I'll show you a picture of my construction and then more or less at the end when I managed to slot the whole thing over the top. The only thing about this barbecue is it's got a little smoker chimney, so sadly it's not going to sit nice and flat on the top, it's going to be kind of angled, but hey, it was in some really thick waterproof fabric, very like canvasy fabric. It was be fantastic stuff, really good quality. And the most exciting thing was, so I created this box. Oh, I had to look up how to do square corners because I could not remember how you did it. You know, when you have to go up to the corner and then you lift the foot and you snip and then you turn the fabric. Forgot how to do that, now I know. So I created this box shape and then I thought, well, how is he going to tie it to the bottom? Then I remembered our swing sofa has got a similar cover over the top and it's got holes in with rivets and then it's got some ties. Now, we've had so many swing sofa covers in the past, we've got all these old ties, so I thought, brilliant, we had to find 4 of those, and I got these sort of whole rivet things that you bash in with a hammer, and I had amazing fun doing that. It cuts the hole. Oh, it looks so professional, that bit, forget the rest of it, but that bit looks so professional, and I've given them some of the old ties, so hopefully they can be able to secure it to the feet. So we're seeing my son for lunch. We're meeting halfway on Saturday, so I'm going to pass over the cover. I'm really glad actually because it's super heavy, and then he can try it for me. Fingers crossed. Worst case scenario, I can always add some extra panels if it's not wide enough or whatever, but we shall see. Anyway, so that was the most exciting thing I did, and the only reason I rushed ahead and did it is because we knew we were going to be meeting him. And that's it. That's what happens, isn't it? If you've given a deadline, you meet the deadline. If you're given an open-ended, oh, can you do something for me? Then we very often just sort of procrastinate. That's the word, isn't it? All right. What else have I done this week? If you haven't seen, I made the Lutterlow dress. This one here. Very mixed opinion on this. I mean, I'm really pleased I did it. I did it without instructions, and this bit here came out beautifully, and actually the pattern is for a top as well, and it could work really well as a top. So this was the dress. Still not sure, but that bit I was really pleased about. And unlike the other top I did recently, this bit stands up beautifully. Doesn't sag down like that double gauze top I did. So that was one of the things I did this week. Oh, if you're interested, I'm a mixed feelings about this, but because it's a really cool dress, I'm wearing this dress today. I'm still not sure about this bit here. If I may, and it just needs to, I think it's a little bit big, but it was New Look 6263, and I made view A. I don't know, I think Jen in Today in Jen's Sewing has made this one, or a very similar one. If I did it again, I think I would perhaps do that version there, and I think I'd have to bring the shoulders up a bit because I'm just not keen on this bit here. But I'm wearing this dress today. I did get a nice comment about this dress actually today. It's the fabric. The fabric was a viscose linen. It was just beautiful. So that's what I'm wearing today anyway. Not short, but there we go. Right, I made this week. Now, I know I made another pair of shorts. I made another pair of Kwik 3614. I am getting very samey. Now, you are going to need these for these shorts because I'm quite a plain girl. I don't go very bright and very jazzy. And these are really out of my comfort zone, but I fancied some fun shorts for our upcoming holiday. Why not? So get your sunglasses ready because these are the shorts. Ta-da! Tropical print viscose. Now, I don't know, you may remember I went, a couple of months ago, I went with my daughter to a local sewing shop that opens every now and again, and I picked up this linen. It's quite a stiff linen, so I think it's a pure linen fabric. Didn't know what I was going to do with it. I thought about making a dress with it, but it's just too stiff. So I don't know, I was going to make a pair of shorts. I wanted to make another one with the cargo pockets like I did last week. And I came across a grey bit of linen and I got it out and I nearly got it to the cutting table. I thought, no, why don't I make something more fun? So I made these. I'm really pleased with them. I didn't know what my husband was going to say, but he did like them. So there was no sarcastic comments about these shorts. So they're quite fun. I added pockets on the back. I added these side pockets again. I didn't do the buttons this time because I did slightly something wrong with this. It should have been much bigger. I think I forgot to add the seam allowance. And so I didn't add a pocket button, but that doesn't mean, and I can put my phone in that one. So that was my jazzy shorts. You can take your sunglasses off now. So you certainly don't need them for this one. I made my favourite cropped trousers, New Look 6517. This again with the boring cover, but actually there's some really good pieces in it because I have made this tank as well before it. I certainly wouldn't bother to cut out. Can you imagine cutting out that pattern to make the scarf? Why don't you just cut a rectangle? Always foxed me that. But I did make these. I always bring them in a bit because they are too wide, but I just love doing the pockets on the front. And as you can see, I'm very pleased with them. Yeah, these pockets, they just sit on the front, but they just add a bit of something on the back. Of course, I put my phone pockets in the back. Also, it's helped with a bit of dignity, just in case you can see any underwear. It's not too bad, but I'm going to have to be a little bit careful. Funny thing is, this time I made them kind of bigger than I would do normally because the other ones were so tight. Let's make them comfortable for holiday. And I know I'm very stereotypical middle-aged lady. When I go out in the evening, what's better than the crop white trousers and a nice top? And you can mix and match the tops, and it's just so safe, isn't it? So, I had a pattern in the post this week. I had my eye on it. The company sent me a wrong pattern by mistake, but now they've sent it to me. I don't know how I feel about it in reality, but it was this Simplicity 9596. I think it's quite a new pattern. It's got this, as I was told, lantern shape hem. It's very similar to that dress we all rave on about, the 8640. What I didn't realise is this pattern, there's also a t-shirt in it, but it looks like quite a cropped t-shirt, but it's got no sleeves or anything, so it's literally as you would draw a t-shirt, isn't it? So that could be quite interesting. I don't know how it would go without sleeves, but so I got this pattern. Now, for next week, I was thinking I just want to make one more thing for my holiday. When we go to America, and you all have lovely air-conditioned restaurants, but they're always on the chilly side. So quite often I take a cardigan or something, and it's just sometimes a bit too heavy. So I had the idea of making a kind of shrug, lacy crochet type shrug. Now I've got two patterns. I've got this one here that I've made before. This was New Look 6378. and I have made this version before, but I made it out of a jersey. Or I have this one, Simplicity 1884. I think I've made that. I can't quite remember. I might have done out of a really thin, gosh, I can't remember what it was. Like a see-through voile, I think it was. So either of those two. Now, I don't normally do this, but I ordered some sample fabrics. Normally I'm in too much a hurry and I just want the fabrics. But this time I was sensible and I ordered 3 sample fabrics that came from Minerva, and they came today. Now, I'm just not sure. What I don't want it to look like is a granny shawl, so I'm going to take your advice on this one. So first, this was the first one. This is a grey. It's really light. So that's that one. This one here is ranking my favourite at the moment. This is super soft. It's very soft and lovely. This one is, I'm not sure about this. This looks a bit cobwebby. It looks a bit Halloween-y to me. That there. It's also stiffer, so it's not as soft as the others. So actually, let's rule that one out. Now, the trouble is, wool grey, I mean, a lot of my stuff is kind of blue, I would think, blues and whites. Wool grey, does it look just like it's dirty? Or is it safer to go for the white? Or is that burgeoning on shawl? The other thing that I'm concerned about is why I would favour the grey is because I'm going to have to hem it. Now, have any of you hemmed anything like this? I think this is probably the easy one to do like a rolled hem on. I can see it being an absolute nightmare though. But this one that I favour, it's got such big gaps in, I'm not sure how it's going to be when you do a rolled hem. It might have a big fat seam. Advice, please. You're always so good with the advice. So that's what I intend to do, but I'm not quite sure. I will wait to see what you say. So either of these two, they're more or less the same. Something quick, something just light I can just put over, just keep that little bit of warmth. Now, going back to the bright shorts, sorry, I told you you can put your sunglasses away, please. What I did realise is, of course, I have nothing to go with it because I sew mainly patterned stuff. So I found that black t-shirt that I made earlier on in the year, that goes with it, but it's a bit too severe. But in my cupboard, I came across this very light, I think it was a linen jersey. That's the trouble with me. I order fabric, I never write down what it is or where it comes from, and I just can't remember. So this, I think, because it's got kind of a slub in it, hasn't it? Now, so I think that would work perfectly because it's not quite as harsh as the black. So I want to quickly make myself a little t-shirt, and I've got a huge admission to tell you. I have a couple of indie patterns and I actually might use one for this. It's one I've used quite a few times. The Grainline Studio Scout Tee, and I know I love the Big Four. I use the Big Four all the time, but I do have a couple of indie patterns, mainly because they're the ones that are printed, and you can see I've used this a few times. But it's a lighter, it's quite a nice shaped t-shirt because it's got a slightly dropped back. So I'm probably going to use that because it's a bit more floaty than the one I always make. So I do have some, I admit. Now, the other thing I want to do is I've got loads of t-shirts, loads of pattern t-shirts, and they've all got sleeves, but I've got very few that are sleeveless. Now, I haven't got the time to make a load of sleeveless t-shirts. I just can't see me having time. So what I did, I went through my cupboard and I thought, okay, well, what t-shirts do I wear very rarely? One of them was this. Now, this was a t-shirt I made. I think it was the 62-46 New Look, I think. It might have been another similar basic New Look one. I'm not 100%. I've never been 100% with the colour of this. And also, unless you're wearing it with white, the colour, you can't wear it with jeans because it's like a green. I mean, it's a lovely, pretty, I think it was an art gallery cotton jersey. So it's lovely. But I thought, as I don't wear it that much, if I take those sleeves off, I think that could be quite a nice sleeveless one to wear with some white shorts or something. So that I'm going to alter. And the other one was this one. Now, this was lovely fabric when I had it, but it's stretching out of shape drastically. It was like a ribbed jersey. I mean, it's lovely. The colours were beautiful. I think I actually got this from My Fabrics, I think that in Germany. It's really nice. But it is stretching out of shape, so which is great because it'll be floppy, but the sleeves just are hanging and they just kind of stick out. You can see even just holding up there. So I'm thinking if I take those off, that would make quite a nice sleeveless t-shirt. Now, my approach is going to be basically chop the sleeve off and then see what I get left with. If it's too narrow, if the sleeve then is too, shoulder seam is too narrow, I might use this as a band and just put a band back in, similar to the neckband. So I might do that because I don't think I've got either of these fabrics anymore. So I might have to piece together something. I might have thought that'd be a quick way of making a couple of sleeveless t-shirts. Now last week Jen's question, because I forgot the question again, was what is your favourite sewing book? And I haven't really got, I think I've got one sewing book, but the sewing book that I have got in my heart, you're gonna laugh, is this. This was my year 5, so I would have been about 14, 15, just before my O-level sewing. This was my exercise book, and I don't know how I've still got it, but I have. But I've got everything in here. My writing was beautiful back then. I have got so many, how to do so many things. I didn't realise I knew so many things. If you're interested one day, I'll read some bits for you. But I mean, you know, it says how to alter. She did I can't believe I did these. How to make things shorter, how to make things longer. Look at this. I mean, that's just brilliant, isn't it? So I was having a quick look through this, and I didn't get on with my sewing teacher. I think I've said that to you before. The funniest thing was I came across a page where we had to do, obviously, pleats, inverted pleats, a box pleat, and then there was a knife pleat with a bar tack. And here is this awful bar tack that I did. And this says here, unpick and ask for help. And that about sums up my sewing. I mean, gosh, I don't even know how I thought I'd get away with that. Oh, but it's just incredible to read. I'm so glad I kept it. It's just, this is my sewing book. This weekend, my husband in with his band and my daughter are doing a gig in a local pub. This will be Katie's 3rd gig. I'm actually going to see her this time. Last time I had to babysit, so I couldn't see her sing, but this time I'll be going along and seeing her because they managed to get a babysitter. So her husband's going to be there and it's going to be great. I will admit that my husband's band doesn't play my type of music, but I'll be so thrilled to see Katie sing again, and she's going to be great. She's really getting into it now and gaining her confidence. So that's going to be quite good. And we're seeing my son on Saturday, meeting him for lunch, so we're going to give the barbecue cover. And then on Sunday my parents are coming over. They live the other side of Dorset, so they're going to come over for a roast. Now, I always cook a roast on Sunday. I'm a very traditional British lady, cooks a roast regardless of the weather. I think we may be eating it outside under the shade of the trees because it is still so warm. I think the weather's due to break on Monday. But that's it. Also, I'd like to say a thank you to everybody that was so kind about the footage of Mickey. So what I've done this time, our morning walk is about, we live opposite a forest, and our morning walk is about 20 minutes round. So what I did the other day is, it was a beautiful morning, I did the walk for you and I filmed a bit of it. Just him and me walking through the trees. I've condensed that down to a couple of minutes, and I'll put it at the end of this video, but I just thought you'd like to share just a bit of my surroundings and a bit of my normal life. That's it. Thank you ever so much. I think the question for this week was, have you ever had any sewing lessons or been to any classes, or have you taught yourself? The answer for me is, because of my school experience, I would probably never have a going back to a sewing class. I'm not saying I know everything, I just use YouTube, it's so much easier. And have I taught myself? I think we all we learn as we go along, don't we? I think a lot of us, we use YouTube. I'm not a great book reader. It's becoming so lazy. It's easier just to look on YouTube and then find out how to do something. Hence, I looked about those square corners. But that was the question for this week. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for commenting. It's always great to chat with you, and I really hope you have a good weekend with loads and loads of sewing. Okay, bye.
Come on then, Mick.